Hi, and welcome to my channel. My name is Bryndís. Today we are reading The Shining. As you can see, I've taken it out of the freezer and I'm going to make a second attempt at reading this book. I tried to read it about 2 years ago and I was into like early chapter 2 when I gave up. I am a scaredy cat. These type of books don't generally agree with me, but I am so curious about this book. And I am kind of very slowly going to also work myself through reading all of the books by Stephen King. And I am currently doing it, so I'm doing it decade by decade. And I'm currently in his first decade of publishing, which is from 1974 to 1983. This book was published in 1976, was it? And I have not been able to read it. I want to read this book. And I also just want to challenge myself a little bit. I think that it's a shame that there's like a genre of books that I can't read because I'm too scared. It is currently the middle of June, or like it's the 20th of June. Tomorrow is the 21st, summer solstice, the longest day of the year. I live in Iceland. We have 24-hour daylight at this time of year. There is no reason for me to be afraid of the dark because there is no dark. So there is no excuse for me not to read this book. So basically what I'm going to do is, over the next few days, I don't know how long it will take me to read it, I will just read as much as I can every day. And then I will just update you on a regular basis of how it's going. And then we're going to do like kind of my reflections, my thoughts at the end. So strap yourself in for a interesting ride. So the first update, this is the next day. I started reading this yesterday, as I told you, and I actually got up to chapter 4. So I've read 3 chapters. So I'm further along than I was last time I tried to read this book 2 years ago. And I have to say that I'm obviously in a much better state of mind, or frame of mind today than I was 2 years ago when I tried to read this book. The same time of year, it was in June, I think, May or June or July, something, in 2022. And I couldn't get further than, like I said already, beginning of chapter 2. But we have, Jack has gotten his job, and they haven't moved, his family haven't moved to the hotel, but he's gotten his job. He's gone through the hotel with the caretaker and kind of been told what his duties are for the winter. Now I will say that there's a lot of foreshadowing in this book. It's not subtle at all. It's like okay, just in case if I forget to put it in the title, there are going to be spoilers in this video. So if you haven't read the book and you don't want to know what happens, or you haven't seen the movie, I'm like, under what? Oh, I'm sorry, my neighbor here outside. Under what rock have you lived? But anyway, yeah. So there's definitely foreshadowing about the fact that Jack has a big temper. He has he has already once broken the arm of his son when his son was 3, and he seems to have had a problem with alcohol, So, and it's like there is no. It's not subtle, so you kind of know already. Okay. this is gonna be a problem. His temper and his alcoholism is gonna be a problem. So I'm not sure if I'm 100% a fan of that. Obviously, I've seen the movie, so I kind of know what happens. But what I don't really remember about him drinking, but I remember him going like gaga. But but I'm very happy with the fact that it hasn't scared me off yet. I've read, how many pages did I read yesterday? Oh, it's only like 27 pages, but still. It's a chunky book. I hope that it's not going to take me more than a week. But yeah, I'm excited about the rest, and I will update you in a couple of days, when I've read maybe at least one third or something. As you can see, I am almost halfway through. I'm on page 193. And things are definitely starting to get very scary. I really like how Stephen King is writing Danny, the boy. I really like how Danny is kind of the vehicle of all the scary things. And Jack is definitely starting to unravel a little bit. And it's starting to get scary. But I'm really handling the scariness quite well. It does help that it's light outside, even though it's late in the evening at the moment. And oh my god, I'm loving it. Oh my god. I just finished this chapter. Oh, holy moly. This is so good and so scary. Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm on page 326. So as you can see, I don't have that much. I have about one fourth left. And I think I'm going to try to finish it this evening. Today is Sunday. So when did I start reading this? Thursday? Yeah. So I've been reading, it's a big book, so I've been reading it quite fast because it is so good. I can't I had to force myself to put it down yesterday and go to sleep and I have to read something else after I read this, because otherwise I will probably have a nightmare. It's not as horrible and terrifying as I was afraid it would be, but it is still hella scary for sure. But yeah, so I'm probably talk to you tomorrow when I've finished. Hopefully I will finish tonight, we'll see. Or just, I will talk to you next when I've finished. Okay, people, so I am I think I have 20 or 30 pages left. This book is so scary. Oh my god, it's so scary. I'm definitely regretting having read it at the moment, but I need to finish it, because otherwise I would be thinking about what did this happen? Did that happen? But anyway, it's still the same night, as before, and it's almost midnight. I decided to open the blinds on my apartment in my living room, which I usually keep open usually keep closed in the evening, just for privacy reasons or whatever. I'm on the ground floor, and and I had to open it because it was too dark in here, even though it's not even dark in here. That's why I decided I wanted to read this book in June, because we have 24-hour daylight. Because there is no way I would survive reading this book in December, or even in October, or March, or April. Oh my god, I don't know if I will even survive reading it in June. Oh, so I finished. Okay, this is a really good book, and I have to say that it is very scary. It is quite possibly or not possibly, it is the scariest book I've ever read. It's so scary. It was on the verge of being too scary for me. I definitely was not necessarily looking in the mirror when I was brushing my teeth last night. Red room, red room, red room. Thankfully I don't have a bathtub, because when I went I had to go to I was doing laundry last night as well, and I had to go to the laundry room, which is outside of my apartment, and the light on there goes like before it turns on, and I was definitely just standing in the corridor, pressed the light button, and waited until the light was on, and then I went into the laundry room. I'm sorry, it definitely made me scared. And I slept with the blinds open this last night because I didn't want my bedroom to be too dark. I did sleep fine though. I didn't have a nightmare, so that was that was something. But holy moly, there are some really, 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 really scary things in this book. Before I go into this book, I have to the caveat or the premise is that this is not going to be a proper review necessarily, or like a literary review of this book. I've deliberately not gone and looked at things about the book or other people's reviews of it, because I just want this to be my thoughts, my reactions, and my feelings about it. And oh my God, it's hella scary. I think that this book is iconic. If you don't know about this book, it is basically a book about a family, a father, a mother, and a son, who move to this very isolated hotel in Colorado mountains to stay there over winter when the hotel is snowed in and it's very difficult to access it, to take care of the house, of the hotel, the building, off season. The father is he has some problems. He is there with an intent to write a play, to finish his play that he's been writing. He's written some short stories that have been published. He was an English teacher, I think, or creative writing teacher or something at a prep school. And then the mother also has her issues, and then they have this young son, 5-year-old Danny, who's very smart and very definitely not a 5-year-old. He's very smart. And he basically has The Shining, which is kind of second sight, or he's a psychic or something like that. And they go to this hotel and things happen. Really, really scary things happen. I think that that's a fantastic premise of a book, or a setting for a book, for a scary book. A haunted hotel, basically. How I'm gonna structure this review or these reflections is, let me just start by telling you everything that I liked about the book, and then we can end with the things that I didn't like, and then have a final thoughts, conclusion type of a thing. So what I liked about this book, there were a lot of things I really liked about this book. I like Stephen King's writing in general. I think this is book number 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or 8. Book number 8, I think, that I read by Stephen King. And I do like his writing. I mean, he's not, it's not perfect for sure, but in general, I like his writing. I really like how he writes children and young people. This is only the second book by him that I read where the main protagonist is a child. I've also read Firestarter, where I think she's 8 rather than 10 in that book, and he is 5 in this book. But I also like how he writes teenagers. So anyway, I like how he writes young Danny. I really enjoyed how, you can like see that he is really young. When, for example, when they're in the hotel and they are having a tour, and the someone is talking about the presidential suite, and Danny is like, what suite? There is no candy here. What are you talking about? I thought that was really hilarious. I think that he writes Danny really well. I mean, Danny is supposed to be a really smart, kind of older for his age type of a boy, and maybe you can definitely see that. But there are some things there that you can definitely think that a 5-year-old would think. The hotel is basically a character as well, and that's, I think, yeah, he does the characters quite well in this book. The way he writes suspense and that thrilling, horrifying element of the book, oh my God, it's so well done. You're like in the moment with the people. Oh my God, like like when they are dragging Jack into the pantry, or when Winifred is like, or Wendy is like running from when Jack has been like trying to kill her, and she's like running from him, and oh my God, and then he like grabs her ankle. Oh, it's so well done. Or when Danny, poor thing, is in the room with a lady in the bathtub, and he's like, you're not real, you cannot hurt me, the things here cannot hurt me. And then he opens his eyes and she's like, oh, it made me jump. Like, oh my God, it's so scary. Yeah, so I liked a lot of things in this book, but I want to say the thing that maybe I didn't like, there's really only one thing that I didn't like. I think I liked like 95% of the book, but the thing that I didn't like was kind of the ending at the hotel. Not the ending. I really enjoyed the ending where they are like at the lake, and that made me cry. When Danny broke down and was crying in Halloran's arms, I cried as well, because just the trauma of that poor child. That was really beautiful and well written, and it just kind of gave you hope for that poor child and Wendy, Winifred. But what I didn't like was in the hotel when Jack had been trying to kill Wendy, and she had managed to stab him between his shoulder blades with a knife, which would have killed him. But he wasn't dead, because now he was the hotel. Yeah, that. And then he was like walking around being the hotel, and like his face, he's like he was being unmasked, right? And his face was falling off or something. I don't know exactly. And he was like not Jack, but he was the hotel. That was just a little bit silly. So that kind of took away some of the scariness for sure for me. Which is probably good, because otherwise I would have been like having nightmares probably for a couple of weeks. But I wish that that part hadn't been, and that it had just been Jack who had been not physically like possessed by the hotel, but mentally, and that the hotel would have stayed this haunted entity, invisible to everybody, and just kind of, I wish that. I'm not going to let that ending ruin the book for me. I think that it's still such a good book. I'm giving it 4 stars because of that. I don't know if I would ever actually read it again, because like I said, there are some really scary parts, but I might possibly be interested, or I would definitely have to like work up my nerve to watch the movie again. I'm not sure though. I don't think so, to be honest, but I think it would be fun, because I think the movie is a little bit different, and I think I heard somewhere that Stephen King didn't like the movie version. Anyway, if you're still here and you're watching this video, even though you haven't read this book, and you don't mind the spoilers, obviously, then I would still recommend that you read this book. I think it's an iconic horror, and there are some scenes in here that are just brilliant, so well done. So yeah, The Shining by Stephen King, 4 stars, and I'm so proud of myself for having finally gotten up the nerve and actually read it, and I definitely am very happy about that. Anyway, I guess that's that. Thank you for watching, and let me know if you've read the book and what you thought about it, and let's have a chat in the comments. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.